wow.
It's a must-see.
I loved it.
It gets all the senses, like your ears, your eyes, and
It's one of the best things that I've ever done.
Love the music, love the lights, and one of the best nights of my life.
Best show ever.
This is like freaking awesome, dude.
it had something for everybody tonight.
Hi, my name's Tommy Tellerico. I've been a video game composer and sound designer in the video game industry for over 23 years. I've worked on over 300 video games, games like Earthworm Jim and Disney's Aladdin, and game franchises such as Madden Football and Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Metroid Prime and the Sonic series, Pac-Man, James Bond, Spider-Man. But you're probably most familiar with my work from Color Dinosaur and Aquaman. But I'm here today to talk to you about our Kickstarter project. Now I'm thinking to myself, where would be a great place in the world that has that same power and emotion of Video Games Live and that energy and excitement? You know, where, somewhere in the world, somewhere in nature that has that same kind of passion. And I thought to myself, wait, I know. How about Niagara Falls?
So here I am at Niagara Falls, talking about the Kickstarter project, and it's a lot of power and emotion here.
You're probably asking yourself, what does a successful video game concert tour need crowdfunding and Kickstarter for anyway? Well, the reason is simply this, is that as I'm sure you're aware, over the last 15 to 20 years, the music and record industry has changed drastically in fact. And a couple years ago when we released our second album and our first Blu-ray and DVD, we funded it 75% ourselves, because the reality is that record companies out there don't believe that gamers are willing to pay for video game music. You know, in this day and age, a lot of people are downloading and listening to stuff through YouTube or borrowing from the internet. And you know, for us, we want to create something of super high quality, and we don't want to be restricted by small budgets or people who don't even believe in the concept to begin with. Now, my goal with Video Games Live from the beginning has been to keep ticket prices as low as possible. We always have free meet and greets after the show, and we try to play as many small cities just as much as the big cities. I created the show to be scalable, so we're able to do that. Now, our goal with this album and movie is to take it worldwide. You know, our last DVD and Blu-ray was never in Europe. It wasn't distributed in most places around the world because distributors didn't believe in the concept, they didn't believe in video game music, and that video game fans and audiences would be willing to pay for something like this. So we're going to make it completely region-free. There's going to be no coding on any of the stuff. We're going to have digital downloads available for everything. No matter where you are, you're going to be able to get access to it. Now, one of the other reasons we're going to need your help is that because the content that we want to put on this third album isn't all the popular game symphony music that, you know, people have been putting on CDs, including us, for the last, 20, even 25 years. You know, your Marios, your Zeldas, Warcraft, Halo, Final Fantasy, etc., etc. But what I want to do for our third album is something that no one has ever done. Now, these are things that we do play in our show, but things that you typically might not expect to find on a video game symphonic rock album. You know, things like Shadow of the Colossus, Beyond Good and Evil, Journey, Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, Skyrim, things like Silent Hill, Monkey Island, Pokemon, Assassin's Creed. You know, these are some really deep, and get into some deep tracks like from Warcraft and Diablo and Final Fantasy that, you know, people haven't covered in the past. So, you know, going to record companies with even this idea of, oh yeah, we're not doing all the most popular music, by the way, we're kind of going to do, you know, some real deep fan favorite stuff. that turns off the record companies even more. But I know that everybody out there, from just doing the show around the world so many times, hundreds and hundreds of shows, I know that the biggest cheers come when we pull out the surprises, like the Shadow of the Colossus and things like that. So when people appreciate the music of Journey, even though maybe they haven't played the game itself. So this album is going to have all of that stuff, and this is why we need your help to make this. We need you to believe in it as much as we do. Now, all these arrangements are really unique and not only put together by us, but with the original composers as well. In fact, I made a video of when I was in Japan. It was a party that the Japanese composers threw for me. I got the video of it that's down below. You should definitely check it out, just to give you an idea of all of the amazing game composers from around the world that are all coming together, uniting to put this album and hopefully movie together. So for this album, we want it to be a studio recording, and depending on what the final funding number is, that's going to kind of dictate, how many musicians, the studio that we're going to use, how many people in the choir, et cetera, et cetera. What I do know, though, is that we're going to be using the best audio engineers, the best mixers, and the highest quality we possibly can. Not only are we going to have a full symphony choir and rock band as well, but one of the tracks on the album is going to be a remix by none other than DJ, superstar, recording artist, performer extraordinaire, BT. So let's talk a little bit about the rewards. Now, I made a whole separate rewards video that really gets into detail because there's so many amazing things. I just kind of want to give more of a description. But what I can tell you is my whole goal was, whatever the pledge was, I wanted to at least quadruple the reward back to you. So, this is all about giving back to the audience, giving back to the fans who supported us for so long. And again, it's not about making money for us. It never has been. It's always about getting the word out there about how incredible video game music is and the whole video game industry. So I called a lot of my friends in the industry and asked them to help come up with some cooler rewards for the project. And some of my favorites are a lunch and tour at Blizzard Entertainment by the Blizzard audio team. My good friend David Hayter, the original voice of Solid Snake, will record a personalized message for you in the original voice of Snake. Austin Wintry is going to be putting together a piano arrangement album for us for the project, which is really cool. Lots of signed composers' scores and signed sheet music, Skype chats with some composers from around the world, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Again, check out the rewards video. It gets really into detail about a lot of this stuff. But again, my goal was to give quadruple back, at least quadruple, to whatever you donate to the project. I hope you'll be able to help donate to the project, but even if you can't, the best way to help us out is to post this on Facebook and post the project on Twitter or email it to all your gamer friends, because the reality is that the key to success to any Kickstarter project is getting the word out there to as many people as possible. So please help us out by spreading the word, and I hope to see you at a Video Games Live concert real soon. Thank you so much.